Why most problems never go away. Most people believe their problems will disappear once something out there changes. A better job, more money, different people, a fresh start, and yet the same frustrations keep returning, just in new forms. Different faces, same pressure, different situations, same anxiety. That's because most problems are not external events. They are internal patterns. People don't suffer because life is hard. They suffer because they fight reality, chase control they don't have, and react emotionally to things that don't deserve their energy. Stoic philosophy begins with an uncomfortable realization. If a problem keeps repeating, it's not following you by accident. It's being recreated by how you think, what you expect, and what you refuse to let go of. Until that changes, no solution lasts. Problems are not events, they are judgments. Stoicism does not deny hardship. It denies the belief that hardship automatically equals suffering. Two people can face the same event. One remains calm, the other collapses. The difference is not the event, it is the judgment attached to it. Stoics understood this clearly. Events are neutral. They carry no meaning until the mind assigns one. Loss becomes devastation. Delay becomes injustice. Silence becomes rejection, not because they are, but because we decide they are. When you mistake your interpretation for reality, every obstacle feels personal. Every setback feels like failure. Every inconvenience becomes a problem. Change the judgment, and the event loses its power. This is where Stoic control begins. Lesson 1. Control what is yours. Ignore the rest. Most people exhaust themselves fighting battles they were never meant to win. They worry about opinions, outcomes, and reactions they cannot command. Stoicism draws a hard line. Some things are yours. Most things are not. Your thoughts, your choices, your actions. Everything else, other people's behavior, the past, the future, luck, belongs outside your control. When you invest energy in what you don't own, frustration is guaranteed. You feel powerless because you are focusing on the wrong territory. Stoic discipline is ruthless but freeing. Withdraw from what you can't govern. Concentrate on what you can. As your focus narrows, chaos loses access to your mind. And many problems disappear, not because they were solved, but because they were never yours to carry. Lesson 2. Most suffering comes from resistance. Pain is part of life. Suffering is optional. Most people suffer because they argue with reality. They replay the same thought, this shouldn't be happening. They resist delays. They resist loss. They resist outcomes they cannot reverse. Stoicism teaches a harder truth. Reality does not negotiate. The moment you stop fighting what already exists, your mind regains clarity. Acceptance is not weakness. It is the end of wasted energy. When you accept a situation as it is, you stop bleeding emotionally. Only then can you act with precision instead of panic. Many problems feel overwhelming not because they are complex, but because resistance keeps them alive. Release the argument with reality, and most suffering dissolves on its own. Lesson 3. Emotional reactions create long-term problems. Many problems don't begin as disasters. They begin as reactions. A sharp comment, a moment of disrespect, a surge of anger or fear. Most people respond immediately and emotionally. They speak too fast. They explain too much. They act to release tension, not to protect their future. Stoicism trains a different response. Pause. An unchecked reaction can create consequences that last for years. Damaged relationships, lost opportunities, regret that doesn't fade. The Stoic understands this. Emotion is temporary. The results of action are permanent. By delaying reaction, you often eliminate the problem entirely. No argument, no escalation, no unnecessary damage. Control the reaction, and you control the outcome. Lesson 4. Desire is the root of most anxiety. Anxiety rarely comes from what you lack. It comes from what you demand. You want people to understand you. You want recognition. You want life to feel fair and predictable. Stoicism exposes the trap. The more you need the world to behave a certain way, the more power you give it over your peace. Desire creates attachment. Attachment creates fear. Fear turns uncertainty into anxiety. The Stoic solution is not suppression. It is reduction. Reduce unnecessary wants. Release the need for validation. Stop expecting reality to satisfy emotional demands. When desire quiets, anxiety follows. You stop chasing reassurance. You stop negotiating with the uncontrollable. Peace returns. Not because life improved, but because your expectations finally aligned with reality. Lesson 5. Detachment creates clarity. Clarity disappears when you are too emotionally involved. When everything feels personal, nothing is seen clearly. Most people stay entangled in toxic relationships, in old identities, in emotions that cloud judgment. Stoicism teaches detachment, not as escape, but as discipline. Distance creates perspective. Step back and patterns appear. Motives become obvious. Problems shrink to their true size. Detachment allows you to observe without reacting, to decide without pressure, to walk away without guilt. This is not coldness, it is control. When you are no longer pulled by every feeling or expectation, your mind regains authority, and with that authority comes clarity. Many problems dissolve the moment you stop standing inside them. Weak men fight everything. Strong men choose. Battles. Weak men react to everything that touches their ego. Every comment feels like a challenge. Every inconvenience becomes a fight. They argue. They defend. They waste energy proving themselves to people who don't matter. Strong men move differently. They understand that attention is expensive. Energy is limited, and not every battle deserves a response. Stoicism is not passivity. It is selectivity. A strong man observes before he engages. He measures the cost before he acts. He walks away from chaos without needing the last word. By choosing his battles, he protects his focus, his peace, and his direction. This restraint is not a weakness, it is discipline. Those who fight everything lose control. Those who choose carefully remain powerful. When the mind is disciplined, problems shrink. Stoicism does not promise a life without difficulty. It promises a mind that cannot be easily disturbed. When your thoughts are disciplined, problems lose their grip, not because the world becomes kinder, but because your reactions become controlled. You stop feeding what drains you. You stop chasing what you cannot command. You stop suffering over what no longer deserves your attention. Most problems survive on emotion, expectation, and resistance. Remove those, and they collapse on their own. This is the quiet power of Stoic thinking. No drama, no escape, only clarity, restraint, and self-mastery. Master the mind, and the problems that once defined you no longer decide how you live.